Welcome to Gentle Restorative Yoga Blend. In this class, we'll do some gentle yoga, just warming up and stretching out a little bit. And then about halfway through, move into more restorative work, some yin work, um, in which we'll be holding poses for several minutes. And to make that comfortable, we have to be able to support ourselves with bolsters and blankets and such. So I've got a whole stack of stuff right over here. Now my setup's a little bit different today. You're going to find out why later. Basically, in our first restorative pose, I'm going to be using the wall as a prop. It'll be an option. You don't have to worry about it, but I'll be backed up against the wall. You could also back up against, the sofa or anything else to support your back. But even that is not required. It's just an option that I personally find that I enjoy. So I'm set up to be able to do that and to show it to you, but you won't have to. But that's why that's there. Let's start in Sukhasana, comfortable seated pose, spine stacked. Let's shrug our shoulders up and roll them back and down. And we'll eventually just pack them down our back, keeping our sternum lifted. We can rock side to side on our sits bones. And then slowly coming into center, trying to create an equal amount of pressure on each sits bone so that we're evenly distributed our weight in our hips. Always have an option here, by the way, to be sitting on a blanket if you like. That would be fine. Let's grab our knees. Let's lift the chest and arch the back, coming into a seated cow pose. We exhale, scooping our abs, curling in, tucking into a seated cat pose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, scoop. Inhale, lift. And scoop. Let's come back to neutral spine, sitting up nice and tall with our shoulders packed. Let's just slide the rib cage to one side and then back through center to the other side. Think about just pushing your ribs out one way and the other. Just limbering up that spine with gentle movement. Now coming back to center, let's come into cow pose. And push our ribs out to the right and scoop into cat and push our ribs to the left and lift back into cow at center. Going around 2 more times in this direction. From cow, side ribs, cat, side ribs. Coming to center, holding here for a breath. Let's reverse direction. Press out to the left, scoop into cat, press to the right, lift into cow. 2 more times around. It's like we're stirring the pot here. Coming back to center, just sitting up nice and tall, bringing our fingertips down, inhaling to lift the arms up, exhaling to press down. Let's be sure to keep our shoulders packed down the whole time. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Next time, just the right arm. Inhale up. Exhale over. Opening that right side body. We can slide our hand farther out if we like. Deepening our stretch. Inhaling back up. Exhaling down to the floor. Inhaling the left arm up. Exhaling it over. We can slide the right hand out. Bringing breath into the left side body here. Expanding those ribs. Inhaling back up. Exhaling back down. Let's bring the right hand to the left thigh. Sweep the left hand behind your back. With that left hand, we press ourselves up tall. We inhale to stack the spine, pressing up through the crown of the head. Exhaling, we twist to the left. We'll pause. We'll inhale and stack the spine taller. We'll exhale, we'll twist farther. Whatever is available to us. Perhaps looking over our shoulder. Relaxing back to center. Now bringing that Left hand to that right thigh, that right hand behind the back, pushing ourselves up tall, lifting up through the crown of the head as we inhale, exhaling to turn, inhaling to lift higher, exhaling to twist farther. Again, you can look over your shoulder if you'd like to. Breathe. We'll come back to center. Let's do a shoelace pose while we're here. Now I'm going to stack my knees. You don't have to stack your knees. You can keep your legs folded like this. You can come onto your heels. Sit back on your heels if you like. Or you can let's bring the right knee over the left knee and pull the ankles down to the sides of your hips. Just an option. Now whatever pose you choose for your legs, I'm going to inhale tall and exhale and release and round forward, sliding our fingertips out to the side, letting the head hang for a shoelace pose. You'll feel this in your hips. Breathe and relax and sink. A couple more breaths here. Remember to use sinking breath, inhaling and then exhaling deeper into your stretch. Now walking our fingertips back in, sitting up. If we have any version of crossed legs, we're just going to switch the cross of our legs. If you're sitting back on your heels, you're good to go. If you're sitting like I am, I'm going to pull my ankles back by my hips. Let's all stack the spine tall. Inhale, exhale, release and round forward, sliding fingertips out to the side, letting the head hang heavy. And using sinking breath, letting the chest press down, feeling it in our hips. Inhale and exhale. Now both sides may not feel the same. That's normal. That's fine. We work with what we have, breathing and sinking. And then slowly sitting back up. Let's uncross our legs. Let's just shake those legs out a little bit. Let's swing around onto our hands and knees next. With our knees under our hips, our wrists under our shoulders. You can make fists for wrists if you like. We're sliding the shoulder blades down the back. We're drawing the abs up and in. We're lengthening the neck, creating lots of space between our ears and our shoulders. We'll take cat-cow here. As we inhale, we'll lift the chest and tailbone looking forward for cow. As we exhale, we'll scoop the abs, look down at our knees for cat. Inhale, lift, looking forward. Exhale, scoop it in. Let your breath give you the cue when to move. As you finish your next round, we'll come back to neutral spine. Pack the shoulders, draw the abs in, and then we'll just shift the hips from side to side. Coming back to stillness, we'll barrel roll the hips around in a circle 3 times one direction, scooping through cat-cow. Then reversing direction. Coming back to stillness. Let's slide our hands forward into puppy. Bringing the forehead down. Giving our wrists a little rest here. Letting your heart sink toward the floor. And we'll bring our hands back in, back to hands and knees. And we'll slide the right foot back, curling the toes under. We'll rock back and forth. We'll float the right foot across the left foot, looking over our left shoulder and pressing the right hip out to the side. We can rock on the diagonal here. We'll float that right leg straight out behind us, left arm forward for spinal balance. Focus on the core right here, drawing the abs in, creating stability from the center of your body. A couple more breaths. We'll come back down to hands and knees. Now sliding the left foot back, curling our toes under. We can rock here. Loosen up that calf, mobilize that ankle joint, and soften up the sole of the foot. We can float that left foot across the right foot, looking over the right shoulder, and pressing the left hip out. We can rock on the diagonal this way. And floating that left leg straight out behind us, nice and active, pressing back through the heel, extending the right arm forward, spinal balance. Again, try to stabilize starting from the middle of your body, from your core, with that Uddiyana Bandha, drawing the navel in and up into your rib cage. A couple of breaths. Let's relax back down to hands and knees. We're going to drop to one hip and roll onto our backs here. And we'll do a little flow that I did in an earlier class this week. It's our dead bug flow. I'm going to start on our backs in Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of our feet together, knees falling out to the side. You can adjust your feet to whatever length of opening is comfortable for you. We're just relaxing the legs, letting them fall, letting gravity stretch them here. Now we're not going to stay here forever, so I'm not going to worry about bolstering or blocking under our legs here. It's fine. But while we're here, I want to do a little bit of belly breathing. Let's put one hand on the ribs, one hand on the belly. We're going to try to make this belly hand move a lot and this rib hand move as little as possible. So we're going to inhale and expand the belly like a balloon. And then exhale, press the air out. Let's try to keep our lips sealed and breathe through our nose. You have an option to exhale through pursed lips if you like. So we'll all inhale through the nose. We can exhale through the nose or through pursed lips. Try to squeeze all the air out. We could just do this for several minutes. We'll just practice a couple more breaths. On our next exhale, we'll lift our knees and bring them together. Let's plant our feet fairly close to the back side. Ideally, you could brush your fingertips against your heels here. We're going to do an articulating bridge. And I give you the choice whether you want to just come up to your hips are straight, whether you want to arch your back more. So just hip straightening, we would peel the tailbone up and lift until our hips are just a straight line. And that's a very nice way to protect your back. We're still bracing the core here. That keeps us from arching the back. That puts less pressure on those intervertebral discs in your spine. Let's roll back down. That's one option. The other option, as we inhale, we can roll up, we can lift. Take more of a back bend here, arching the back more. So I'll leave it up to you, whatever works best for you for your practice. They're both legitimate options. We're grounding into our shoulder blades either way. We're grounding into our feet and heels either way. And we'll roll back down. Let's just flow through that 5 times. Lifting as we inhale, peeling the spine up. And lowering as we exhale, one vertebra at a time, like we're zipping up a zipper. For 4. 3. Articulating bridge. 2. Tilt the pelvis, roll up the spine. And 1. And back down. draw the knees in and bring our arms in between our knees and grab the outsides of our feet. Bring the soles of our feet toward the ceiling, rolling the spine down onto the floor. So, I explained this before, but one teacher told me that when we hold the inside of the feet and rock, that's happy baby. When we hold the outside of the feet and we're still, that's dead bug, because dead bugs don't move. Now, dead bug is a pose that has several variations depending on what you find, where you look. So I'm going to take it to a different variation, bringing my knees to tabletop and my arms up. Now, trick here is keep the core engaged and active. This is what we're focusing on, believe it or not, even though the arms and legs are going to move. We're focusing on the core, drawing navel in, keeping the spine neutral. The head can be down, or for more effort, you can float it up. I'm going to keep it down for right now. And I'm going to inhale, and then exhale to lower my arms and legs out. Now you can work in whatever range is good for you. Inhale, then back in. Let me show you some options. Legs can stay where they are. Legs can come out at a high angle. It's easier. Or legs can go lower, and that's more challenging. So you can choose whatever option you like here. Inhale, exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Tug those knees into the chest. Take a breath. Rock it out. Getting some core today, by the way, you might have noticed. Now, tabletop knees again. Option to plant your feet if your back is getting sore, you're getting tired. You can plant your feet here. So when we were in dead bug, we'll inhale up, we'll exhale, and we'll crunch. We'll inhale, lift the arms, exhale, and crunch. For 3, for 2, for 1. Let's release the feet down. Let's relax and catch our breath. I'm going to combine those several poses into one little flow. And I'm going to use that belly breath as part of the flow. So I'm going to start in Supta Baddha Konasana. Let's inhale, expand the belly. Let's exhale, press the air out, and bring the knees together. Let's inhale, peel the spine up into bridge. Let's exhale and roll the spine back down. Let's inhale and lift to dead bug. Let's exhale and lower the arms and legs out. Your option here. Let's inhale back up to dead bug. Let's exhale and scoop the abs into a crunch. Let's inhale everything back down to the floor. Back to Supta Baddha Konasana. Next inhale, expand the belly. Exhale, bring the knees together. Inhale, peel the spine up into bridge. Exhale, roll the spine back down. Inhale, lift into dead bug. Exhale, extend and lower the arms and legs. Inhale, back up. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, up. Exhale, Supta Baddha Konasana. Inhale, expand the belly. Exhale, close the knees. Inhale, peel the spine up into bridge. Exhale, roll back down your spine. Inhale, lift to dead bug. Keep those abs braced. Exhale, arms and legs come out and down. Inhale, lift to dead bug. Exhale, scoop into crunch. Inhale, back to dead bug. Exhale, open to Supta Baddha Konasana. Inhale, expand the belly. Exhale, close the knees. Inhale, peel the spine up. Exhale, roll the spine down. Inhale, dead bug. Exhale, lower the arms and legs. Inhale, dead bug. Exhale, scoop the abs into crunch. Inhale, bug. Exhale, open, Supta Baddha Konasana. Inhale, belly breath. Exhale, knees together. Inhale, lift into bridge. Exhale, roll it back down. Inhale, dead bug. Exhale, arms and legs come out and down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, dead bug. Exhale, Supta Baddha Konasana. One more time. Inhale, belly breath. Exhale, lift and close your knees. Inhale, peel your spine up into bridge. Exhale, roll back down your spine. Inhale, dead bug. Exhale, lower the arms and legs, your option. Inhale, lift, dead bug. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, bug. Exhale, open. Supta Baddha Konasana. Take your breath. Let's extend our legs out. Shake them out a little bit. Let's roll over onto our bellies now. Let's just do a baby cobra for a little bit of back work here. Again, with our baby cobra, it's not a big strain. It's not a big, strong hyperextension. We're just going to put our hands under our shoulders. We're not going to press into our hands. We're just going to lift chest and shoulders. You can float your hands if you want to. Couple of breaths. Lower it back down. Inhale, lift, baby cobra. Just trying to engage those back muscles, not trying to overdo anything here. Relax it back down. Once more, float up into baby cobra. Relax and bring it back down. Let's slide our elbows forward under our shoulders, coming into Sphinx pose. You can have your forearms parallel. If you want to interlace your fingers, I won't complain about that. Now, relaxing our hips into the floor, melting our hips down, relaxing our abs, relaxing the lower back. There's a temptation here, I know, to arch your back and use your back muscles. Try not to do that. Try to focus on pressing down into your elbows and lifting up with your chest, pulling your rib cage away from your pelvis, just getting a nice midsection stretch. Couple of breaths. Try to pull those shoulder blades back and down away from your ears. Keep our necks nice and long. We can slide our hands out to seal and press ourselves up a little bit more with our arms and relax back down. Now let's engage the core and float our hips up. Bring our toes together, open our knees, and then sink our hips back down into a nice child's pose, releasing the back, finding a stretch here, decompressing the spine. Taking our hands out as wide as the mat or a little wider than your shoulders if you're not using a mat today. Let's inhale the right hand off the mat and exhale it over on top of the left hand. Now as we breathe, let's sink that right hip back and down. Let's try to expand the right side of the rib cage and find openness there. With our next inhale, let's float that right hand up and exhale it back over to the right side of the mat. Settle back into your child's pose, sinking your hips. Find that length in your spine. And then inhale the left hand up and exhale it over on top of the right hand. Inhale and exhale, sinking that left hip down toward that left heel. Using breath to expand the left side of the rib cage. Breathing and sinking and stretching. Let's inhale that left hand up, exhale it back out to the left side of the mat. Settling back in at center, finding that length in the spine once more. And slowly walking our hands in, coming up, taking our time so we don't get dizzy. Let's just bring one foot forward to a low lunge and then the other foot. So we're in a forward fold, letting the head hang. We'll have our feet about hip width apart. We can grab opposite elbows with each hand. Let the head hang heavy. You can nod the head or shake the head. Just release any tension in your neck. You can sway your arms in and out or side to side, releasing any tension in your shoulders and back. Release our fingertips down to the floor. Inhale to halfway lift, coming to flat back. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale to circle sweep and rise up. Let's bring hands to heart center. Just take a moment to ground into our feet. Let's tap the spine, pat the shoulders. Let's take a wide stance with our feet turned out. Let's make sure that our knees are tracking toward our toes. We take a little squat here. Let's inhale and open to starfish. Exhale, moonflowers. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Next, sunflowers. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Take a slight squat. We'll swoop down. We'll scoop up those flowers in our arms. We'll inhale to lift back up. We'll exhale to swoop and scoop. Inhale to lift back up. Exhale, swoop, scoop. Inhale, lift. Rising back up. Let's bring our hands behind our back, roll our shoulders, interlace our fingers. Let's turn our feet parallel. Lift the rib cage, push the knuckles toward the floor. Inhale for length, exhale, coming forward to a flat back. Resetting our shoulders, rolling them back. We can lift our arms off the back. We can stay here with flat back so that the head's not going below the heart. But if that's an option for you, you can inhale and exhale deeper, lifting your arms. Couple of breaths, squeezing out the shoulders. Releasing our hands down to the floor. We'll all come to a flat back, a halfway lift in this wide stance. Let's bring the right hand to the left ankle. Keep the spine long, extended. Inhale the left hand up into the air. You can use this right hand to pull yourself around further into your twist. And relax back down. You can plant the left hand under the nose. Left hand comes to the right ankle. Inhaling, right arm up. Long spine. Relaxing back down. Now let's just drag our fingers in a figure eight. A sideways figure eight, an infinity sign, then reverse direction. Let's turn our feet out so that our knees will point toward our toes, and we'll shift over to our right side for Skandasana, for side lunge. We can flex the left foot. We can walk over to the left side, flex the right foot. Let's come back to center, to that flat back. Let's shift our weight into our heels so we're nice and grounded. Bringing hands to hips. We'll inhale, we'll rise up. We'll walk our feet in. We'll shake our legs out. Let's move into some restorative work now. Our first restorative pose is going to be a forward fold. This is where I'm going to use the wall as a prop. Little known fact, maybe well known fact, when we do props in yoga, we talk about blocks and straps and bolsters, but chairs, of course, are props, but the wall is also a prop we can use. So I'm going to do a forward fold, but I'm going to put my back against the wall. I just like the feel of that support, and to make myself more comfortable, I put a pillow there. Now, I don't want to lock out my knees, so I have an option here to put rolled up towels under my knees. And as I said earlier, we'll be here several minutes. And whereas you might not feel your knees locking out, being uncomfortable in a normal hold of a couple minutes or a few breaths for a forward fold, when we hold for several minutes, it can become uncomfortable over time. So not a bad option to put something under your knees for support. Now we're going to be folding forward. If you've got tons of flexibility, you keep a nice long spine and fold all the way forward unsupported, more power to you. Most of us will want support. So we're going to pile up stuff on our legs. So we're able to fold forward with a nice long spine. So we don't want to round over here. We want to keep our spine long, which is why we need stuff. Now, other options. You could do the wide leg. You could do the wide leg forward fold and take a pillow or a bolster and prop your head this way. Or on a chair, you could put your chair in front of you in a wide leg and rest there. That's an option. That's not what I'm doing today, but that's an option. I'm doing forward fold. And again, this behind my back against the wall, it's just an option. I just happen to like it. So, give yourself enough stuff that you feel nice and supported. And then just take a long breath, stack your spine, exhale, release forward. You can stack your hands, you can grab your elbows, and breathe. Just relax in this forward fold. These forward folding poses sort of close off the body a little bit, and they help us build some heat. So this is sort of like a warm-up for restorative work, and we do these forward folding poses to start our restorative yoga. We're building heat in the body. Just relax and sink. Follow your breath. Try to release any tension. Everything should feel grounded and supported. Breathe and sink. Let those legs relax. Just give the weight of your body over into your bolsters. Let your shoulders slide down your back. Beginning to deepen our breath and open our eyes, sit up. Now we're going to go from this forward folding kind of closing pose to a heart opening pose. I've got fish on the menu today. I have a couple of options for you. We can use rolled up blankets to support the upper back and head if we need it for the head. Or we can do a bolster. In one variation, we're going to have the support perpendicular to our spine across the back of our shoulders. Which would be this way. In the other variation, we could use something larger like a bolster, or we could use a blanket again and put it along the spine. Here we want to have the hips down and the head supported. So these are both variations of fish pose. In either pose, you can have arms at your side, out to the side, or for more sensation overhead if that works for you. This is a heart opening pose. So I like to think about bringing breath in and out of the heart. Choose your option. They're both nice. You might find that one works better for you just based on the size of your roll or your bolster. You don't want it too big of a bolster or too large of a roll. So we'll settle back in. Again, we want everything to feel supported. You can just keep your legs out. If you'd like, you can put your legs into Supta Baddha Konasana, which you might want to support your thighs a little bit here if you choose that option. If you have a cloth to cover your eyes, you could also do that at this point. And breathe and settle in. Deepening our breath and opening our eyes. If you're on a bolster, just roll to one side and sit up on your hip and stay there. If you're on a blanket, you can roll on one side and we'll press ourselves up and we'll grab a bolster or cushion for our next pose, which will be deer pose. This is going to be our side bending pose for today. You don't actually have to use a bolster for this. You can just do this on the floor if it's comfortable for you. You could use a smaller bolster or a rolled up blanket just for some support. So I'll give you that as an option. We might adjust as we go along. So we're going to start with our knees stacked, and we'll turn toward our bolster or our imaginary bolster. And we'll inhale and lengthen our spine. And we'll exhale, we'll fold down to the bolster or the floor. We can turn our head to one side. Now, let's stack our knees still with our knees bent at right angles. Let's slide the top leg back, still the right angle bend, so that the top knee touches the bottom heel. So we have a gentle twist facing down. We can also stack our hands or stack our forearms here and just settle into this side twisting pose. Again, you don't necessarily have to have a bolster. You could just do this on the floor. You might find a little more sensation without the bolster, but you might need a little more comfort and support, so you get to decide. And breathe and settle. And we're switching sides now. We'll press ourselves up and turn around, stacking our knees, bringing our hands down to either side of our bolster or our space on the floor. Inhaling, we lengthen the spine. Exhaling, we sink down onto the bolster or floor. And we'll slide that top leg back, still with the right ankle bend in the knee, so that that top knee touches that bottom heel. And breathe and settle in. Deepening our breath, bringing hands to the floor, we can press ourselves back up and prepare for our final relaxation pose. I'm offering either Shavasana or Mountain Brook or any kind of hybrid of those two, by which I mean Shavasana we can just do lying on the floor. Mountain Brook we can bolster our knees, lower back, and neck, but you can bolster any part of that. I'm just going to put a bolster or rolled up blanket under my knees today. And I'm going to grab my washcloth. Coming onto my back, knees bolstered, eyes covered. Feel free to put a rolled up towel or blanket in your lower back. Feel free to roll up a towel under your neck for support, whatever feels good to you. We'll bring our arms down to our sides with our palms up and just relax our legs and let our feet fall out to the side. If you need to adjust the position of your hips or shoulders or head to find a better length in your spine or neck, go right ahead. Find that spot where you really feel supported and grounded. Just feel the weight of your body sinking down into the floor and by extension into the earth. Feel those points of contact. Just feel very safe and supported. Then come back into your breath. Follow the inhales and the exhales as we drift into our Shavasana. You can stay in your relaxation pose for as long as you like. Whenever you're ready, we'll deepen our breath. We'll bring some movement to our fingers and toes. We might choose to circle our wrists and ankles one direction a couple of times and reverse direction. We might rock our heads from side to side. And we can slide our feet in with our knees bent, planting our feet wider than our hips, letting our knees fall inward, and then swaying our knees from side to side, just letting them rise and fall. And then rolling on to one side, stacking one hip over the other, one shoulder over the other, resting our head on the arm. And then with as little effort as possible, we'll press ourselves back up to a comfortable seat, stacking our spine, packing our shoulders, Bringing hands to heart center. Thank you for sharing this practice this morning. Namaste.